Hey, my name is Ben Fraser. I'm the founder of Ready.Set.Van. We're an independent van conversion company based right here in Trenton, New Jersey. And behind me, I have a Ford Transit extended. You can see it's the big boy. We've got a King Highline layout put in here. And actually, this van has a ton of custom things, a bunch of things that we did and thought were really interesting, and some things that we did and we're really not going to do again. But really excited about this van, really excited to show this to you, and also talk about the Transit platform itself as well, because that's a new addition for us this year. We have another Transit video that I think I released a couple weeks ago, and we have some others coming up as well. So, all right, let's get into it. So let's start this off by talking about the Transit chassis itself and kind of talking about through those details, because I haven't really done that yet, and I think that might be helpful for a bunch of people. So, as I mentioned, this is a Ford Transit 148 extended. The 148 part refers to the wheelbase, so it's 148 inches from axle to axle here. That distance is one of the biggest factor in determining your turning radius, and your turning radius is one of the biggest factors in the overall sort of drivability of the vehicle. And sometime in the near future, I'll do a comparison and some testing in the parking lot and show you all these vans side by side and how well they do in making a sharp turn. But anyway, so that 148 refers to that, and then they make it in a standard length and then an extended length. The standard length I measured comes out to about here, and then the extended length, they've just extended this part, and obviously it comes out to here. That additional length works out to be about 28 inches. And so for us, that's 28 more inches of build volume that we have to do fun things inside. So in this case, we put in a King mattress, which is fantastic. And we also have a much bigger garage in here as well. So the end result, we do something similar on the ProMaster with the extended platform there, where we are able to make the bed a lot bigger, put in a king bed. And then the same thing on the Sprinter 170, it's just always has that king bed when we do our Hudson layout. But anyway, that's sort of the chassis as a whole. There's another factor with the chassis that is worth knowing, pretty important actually, is Ford, when they designed the chassis, they decided to prioritize interior height over other factors. And so the overall height of the van is basically the same, functionally the same as a Sprinter. However, they worked very hard to push, the deck height, this height, down as much as possible, and it's considerably lower. And so the result is that actually the interior height in one of these vans is an extra, and I apologize, I don't remember, but let's say 4 or 5 inches, something like that. It might even be a little more. Sorry, I don't have that number off the top of my head, but it's a big difference. It's a huge difference. So if you have somebody who's 6'2", for example, if they're gonna be inside a Sprinter or a ProMaster, they're gonna be kind of like going like this. If they're inside here, they're gonna be very comfortable. They're gonna have a couple extra inches of space. So that's pretty awesome. There is a kind of, you can't get something for nothing. And so one of the things that happens there is then also the clearance under the van is lower as a result on the Ford. And not a huge problem, but if you wanted to be mostly using this to do a bunch of off-road stuff, it's not going to perform as well as Sprinter, which has quite a lot of clearance underneath. The flip side of that, of course, is it being lower, it's a lot easier to get in and out. And stepping into a lifted Sprinter, if it doesn't have running boards, even if it does have running boards, is a big step. So this, getting in here, this is great, So anyway, there's pros and cons with everything, of course, but yeah, I don't know. That sort of covers, I think, most of the chassis stuff. I'm going to do some more videos where we kind of go more in detail on some of these things, like the turning radius. Also, if you're looking at this and you have any off-roading knowledge, you're probably looking at the departure angle of the back end of this van and kind of wondering how that's going to go, which is something I'm wondering as well. So that's for another time. All right, let's check out what we did. Okay, so let's work our way around the outside of the van and then we'll head inside. So these are a set of factory running boards from Ford, and they're actually pretty nice. I think they're great, nice and functional. They do a good job. These clients wanted to get just a small awning that just went over their slider door, and they wanted an electric awning. So we ended up putting this Girard awning. It's a short awning. It only comes out about 3 feet. It's really just to create some shade and to maybe stop a little rain coming in. We've never done the Girard electric awning before, so I'm a little curious to see how it goes. I'm a little wary of electric awnings in general. Awnings are already sort of, they're mechanical things that are subject to wind and all this stuff. And I feel like piling on motors and gearing and stuff like that is just sort of increasing the risk of something possibly going wrong. So anyway, that's something new. I'm not sure if we'll do that again. But up top we have an Orion roof rack. We've got 500 watts up there. That is a nice thing about the bigger van, is we can get a little more solar up there. So that's nice. And of course we got our AC unit and a 5G antenna up there as well. We got CR Lawrence window here, and windows, also bunk windows also on the side. And on the outside of the slider here, we have a roll-F screen. I think I've talked about these screens before and how much I love them. They just do a great job. They're a great company, and I really appreciate them. They made the screen for us just for our specs. And also we got a big old grab handle here, so that's nice as well. This is our standard slider table setup. We do this basically on all vans that have the kitchen in the slider, where we do this acrylic wood composite sandwich with these. Anyway, I've talked about this stuff before, but I absolutely love this setup. It came out really great on the Transit. There's one small thing on this, which is a little different than on the Sprinter. On the Sprinter, the table is a little bit higher, and on the Transit, it ends up having to be a little bit lower because the van's a little bit lower. But it puts the table height a little low if you were doing prepping things, but it's fine. Of course, we got a light built in here. There are magnets embedded in the table here that line up with magnets in the knife block up there, so it holds it all up. Got a 110 outlet here, got a dimmer and some USB charging, and yeah, let's go inside. Okay, so there is a lot to talk about in here. If you saw the last Transit video we did, that was a 148 Highline. There is a lot of similarities between this and that. And basically, everything in the front half here is mostly the same. And it would be the same if it weren't for a bunch of custom changes. Whenever we do a King version of our Highline or of our base camper, what that means is that we basically are doing it on the extended platform, and we're using the extension to create an extra large bed area and an extra large garage area. So that's, our kind of naming convention, in case you're curious when you're going through our stuff. It's like, what's King Highline? King Highline is a Highline with a king bed. And that's what we have here. However, there are a bunch of things in here that are unusual and different. One of them is the seat that I'm sitting in. So this is a Shieldman seat, which I have to say is very, very comfortable. They are very, very expensive. So there's that. We also have Shieldman seats in the driver's seat and the passenger seat as well. So they all match very nicely. They're very comfortable. This has a seat belt as well. They're really nice. So quite like the seat. One very particular request from the client was that they wanted to maximize the storage in their kitchen here. And they didn't. Normally we have a gray tank that's interior, specifically so that the van is, truly 4-season capable. We don't have to worry about the gray tank freezing up and then your kitchen backing up. They wanted to put that below the van. So we did that, and we created a custom kitchen cabinet for them. With that, they wanted to use a particular fridge that we've never used before, and they wanted that to go in place of where our center cabinet is. These are part of a whole pile of things that we agreed to do as part of a custom kitchen unit and a custom center cabinet unit, but they are things that are not going to be standard for our Highline layout. In particular, the fridge being in the center location. There's just a whole lot of reasons that doesn't make sense for us, and it doesn't make sense for most of our clients. It makes sense for this couple, so I understand why they did it. But anyway, so that is not something that is normal. Normally, our fridge is mounted in the kitchen unit, and then in that center cabinet spot there, we have the option for either a pass-through with a pocket door in it, or have a set of drawers there. Of course, above me here, we have our overhead cabinet, which has this linear LED built in that's on a dimmer right here. And then we have a cabinet back here and an open cabinet in the front. So you can kind of either have things that you want to have out sort of on display, or just a place where you can kind of stuff things. Of course, we have a large window right here. This is an Arctic turn window. I love these windows. I've talked about them a lot. We have a blackout shade right here, and also a bug screen right here. So super functional window. I think it's very attractive, and it works great. So one option that's really nice in the Transit, because the Transit is so much taller inside, we're actually able to run overheads all the way down on the passenger side and really not have to worry about them being, kind of blocking and being in your face a lot. In particular, over the kitchen here. Like in the ProMaster, for example, when we have the kitchen here, we would not put overheads typically right over the kitchen. And if we did, we'd make them really small, because otherwise they're they come down low enough that they're just right at eye level, and that would just be like a kind of a terrible experience when you're, preparing food and things like that. But being in the Transit, and we are able to get them up higher, suddenly it really works out nicely, and you don't see them when you're doing stuff in the kitchen. That's a really nice feature of the Transit, and something, truthfully, I didn't think about it until we started making the first one and we started playing around with it, and we realized like, oh, actually, so that's something we can do, and that's something really, really quite nice. Of course, we have another linear LED in that overhead, which provides really nice task lighting for the kitchen area as well. They decided to not have a built-in induction cooktop, which in general I think is a great idea, just to kind of keep your countertop space open and just pull out the induction cooktop when you need it. So they kind of chose to go that route, but they did want to have somewhere kind of permanent where they could put hot things and not have to worry about the butcher block at all. And so they asked us to inset this tile right here, which is a place that they could put hot pots and things like that. It's perfectly fine idea. You could also, and a simple solution for that also is just like throw down a silicone mat, put your pot on top of that. But over here we have all of our controls for all of our lighting. We got some USB charging. We got an outlet over here, of course. This is where we control all of our, where we control the Webasto, which is our heat source for heating the air. And then, of course, we got a switch here for the inverter. The Webasto also runs off an app too. So even if you were outside the van and you wanted to warm it up in here before you came in from sitting around the fire or something, that'd be easy to do. Oh, and this is something, they asked us to install this like makeup kind of magnifying mirror, which is backlit, which is sort of neat. I've never used a magnifying mirror before. And God, I do not recommend seeing your face that big. Over here in the bathroom, we have, our typical Ready.Set.Van setup with a stainless steel shower pan, a teak shower mat, acrylic lined shower. It's just lovely. These guys chose to go with a Thetford 565 in here. As always, we can put lots of different toilets in here. And of course, if you haven't watched my toilet video yet, then you can check that out where I go through pretty much every single toilet that's out there. But this toilet is great. It's dead simple. It's great. All right, let's go check out the bed. Okay, so this huge bed is, of course, why we call this a King Highline. It's pretty huge. This mattress is what's called an RV short king. So it's 72 inches in this direction and 75 inches in that direction. And actually, something that I only recently realized is actually we can get a little bit more in this direction. It would mean getting a custom mattress, but there's a little bit more space, about 4 more inches in that direction. I think probably what I would do if this was my van is I would scooch the mattress that way a little bit and leave a little bit of space at the end here, mostly just so that then you got a nice place where you can tuck the extra bedding and stuff that kind of tends to want to hang over the side. So then there would be a place for it down here. So I'll recommend that to these clients, and we'll see what they decide to do. Of course, we got our overheads up here, tons of storage on all sides. Storage was incredibly important to these clients, understandably so. They were actually downsizing from a Class A. So, for them going from a 40-foot bus, essentially, down to a 22-foot van causes them a certain amount of worry about where they're going to put all their stuff. Of course, they're very excited about the flexibility that a van offers, but storage was king when we were kind of working through their design requirements. So let's see what else we got here. So we actually have a longer. You can sort of tell in this shot when I was looking at it, but this one is actually bigger than the window on this side. So this is a 700 millimeter window in length, and this one's an 1100 millimeter window in length. And of course, on the outside of the van, you can't actually see that they're different at any one time. It's really just in the bed area. And so in the King Highline, we can either do it as a matched set of 300 by 700s, or we can do the extra big one on this side. And the reason we can't do the extra big one on this side is because the slider door opens up, and these windows awning out. So if the window is awninged out and the slider door slams into the awning window, it'll break pretty much instantly. And so we ask me how I know. We had one van where we had that configuration, and we broke the window before we even delivered the van. It was like, so we fixed the window. So anyway, that's the reason for the shorter window on this side. But maximum airflow is something that almost everyone requests. So I think going with the slightly bigger window on this side is a good idea, in my opinion. I would certainly do it myself. A couple things you can't see here in the back corners. We have some USB charging right next to the bed, which is always handy. And then also we have two 12-volt fans in the back corners here. That was a special request by the client. And a good idea, I think, actually. I find sometimes, just a little bit of a breeze is really all you need, and that'll prevent you from having to fire up your air conditioner, and all that kind of goes with that. So lastly, we've got these linear LEDs that are tucked in behind the headboards here. Really nice to have those on like a nice dim level in the evening. Just creates like just nice feel in here. It's just, yeah, I don't know. All right, let's check out the garage. So as it turns out, I think the King Highline on the Transit turns out to be what will probably be the biggest garage we've ever done. Certainly once we do one that doesn't have a center cabinet here, because I just measured from the back here all the way up to that farthest point forward, and it's 85 inches, which is just an absolutely huge amount of space. I think it's a little bigger than the Sprinter, actually. I think the Sprinter, in my head, I feel like it's 80 inches. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, so it's a huge amount of space. As I mentioned earlier, we have different options for this, what we call our center cabinet here. So we can either have it be just an open pass-through, so there's just, nothing here all the way until there's a doorway up there that goes into the living area. And so you can easily access your stuff from the living area and vice versa. We can do that with a pocket door. So, just a little door that slides in and out, kind of disappears. I think that's really nice. And then of course we can do what we call our center cabinet, which is a cabinet with drawers facing into the living area. And in the garage area, then the center cabinet would look something like this. It'd take about a similar amount of space. So yeah, just a huge amount of storage back here. Really kind of crazy how much space there is. We can also do a bed slide back here as well. So where we do one giant shelf, so the whole shelf pulls out, and you can pull your entire garage out of the van. We do that frequently in the Hudson. So if you want to see one in a Hudson, go check out one of our Hudson videos. But that is pretty fantastic, because with such a huge and deep garage, you can imagine if you're like, oh, I need something that's halfway in there, you don't want to pull half your garage out just to get to that thing. So super convenient. On the electrical side of things, this is our electrical cabinet over here. We have our usual setup over here, which is a 3,000 watt inverter. We've got alternator charging, we've got shore charging, we've got, I think I mentioned, 500 watts of solar on the roof. We've got I think a 660 amp hour battery bank. We can do over 1,000. I think we could get probably 1,200 amp hours roughly in here, but 660 is going to be plenty. He'll do just great. He asked for some custom features back here, specifically some additional outlets so that we could mount up this little Yeti power bank for him. He travels with a telescope, he does a lot of astronomy, and his telescope requires power. And this is the perfect little unit for him. So what's nice is we made a little spot for it here. It's always charged up for him. And so if he ever wants to take his telescope out, he can just grab this and power his telescope wherever he wants to set it up. So that's nice. And then he has some tools that he knows he's gonna be traveling with. So he wanted a spot for a battery to be charging all the time. So yeah, so that's pretty neat. Let me see over here on the plumbing side. I actually can't remember, I apologize. I think it's about a 30-gallon freshwater tank. It might be more, sorry, don't quote me on that. He also asked us to put in this 3-stage water filter over here. So it's basically the exact same system that you'd put in your home, where you have a coarse sediment filter, you've got a charcoal filter, and a fine micron filter. So of course, also on the outside here, we've got our shower hookups here. So we have an external shower hookup that has hot and cold water on it as well. And of course, here is our freshwater fill. Oh, and one last thing, we ran L-track down the sides here, so he can easily strap down things. So things are sliding around back here when he's driving around. All right, let's head around and wrap this up. So as you can probably tell, I'm really excited about us finally doing the Transit platform as an option for our clients. We've known for years that there's just been a lot of people who really were waiting for us to offer something on the Transit chassis. And even just after the last video of our first Transit release, there's just been a flood of people who are very excited because they really want to build on Ford. And I think there's a lot of really nice things about it. The additional head height inside is pretty fantastic. I think the overall length of this extended one, being able to do the King layout in here is pretty fantastic. And I forgot to mention at the start, obviously, I just assume that people know this, but the Transit is also all-wheel drive, which is a huge deal. So that gives it, kind of positions it really nicely in between the ProMaster and the Sprinter. The Sprinter being the most capable, the ProMaster being the least capable in terms of it just being a front wheel drive. And the Ford, it's a pretty nice option right there in the middle. So anyway, that's enough about that. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed this tour. I'm really excited to show you more Transit builds in the future, and I hope you're having an awesome day. Peace.